we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about New Girl. Let's talk about New Girl and why it's fantastic and I love it. Sitcoms are a problem. There's a problem with sitcoms. The problem is that most of them suck. Most of them try to tell the same jokes over and over, or the same type of joke. Most of them don't really have characters or any comedy that is funny because of the character. It's kind of like there are things that if I would say they wouldn't be funny, but if you said it, they would. Usually when sitcoms do attempt to infuse the show with more story and character, it just becomes a weird soap opera that's not actually a good drama because it's a sitcom, but it's no longer funny because they're trying to be dramatic now. There are a few exceptions though, and just to clarify, I'm not even talking about the comedy shows that are geared towards a specific type of humor and like a very specific target audience, like Community or The League, both of which I love. Right now, I'm talking about those fluffy, family-friendly sitcoms that are on TV all the time, that have a super wide audience, and every new season of TV, like a million new ones come out, and most of them get canceled because they all suck. Every now and then there's a good one, like Happy Endings or Better Off Ted, but the good ones get canceled also. New Girl, in my opinion, is one of the good ones that made it. It just wrapped up season 6, and the internet rumor is that maybe this was the last season. I don't think it is. Anyway, here's why New Girl is great. They know how to develop characters in a comedy. New Girl doesn't start out great. The first couple of seasons are fun, but they're not crazy funny. The show gets funnier the more you watch it, and it's not just because the show gets better, but it's because you get to know the characters. And then something becomes funny because Nick does it, or because Schmidt does it. Well, anything that has to do with Schmidt is the funniest thing ever. They do tend to get a little bit too dramatic at times, and then it does go a little bit off the rails, but I never felt it was too much. And in the end, it does give you some character arcs. Usually it will have to do with a relationship, because of course it does, but the show also rewards you for having watched all of it. Like most sitcoms, every episode is pretty much standalone, but in almost every episode of the later seasons, there's something that is funnier if you watched the entire show and not just tuned in for that random episode. Something else that this show is able to pull off, because it spends so much time building these characters, is the crazy nonsense brand of humor. Nonsense humor is usually hit or miss for me. Sometimes it can be really funny, and sometimes it just feels very forced, like they're trying to be super random and wacky, but it's obviously heavily scripted, and it doesn't feel fun. And also, it doesn't make sense that a person or a character in a show would behave in that way. Like, if you're watching How I Met Your Mother, there are certain things that it wouldn't be funny if Marshall did them, because he wouldn't do that thing. It doesn't fit his personality. So even if it is funny, it's not funny because it doesn't make sense. So in New Girl, they spent a lot of time fleshing out the personalities of these characters, and by season 6, everybody in the show is insane. All of the characters pretty much can do things that can get them committed to a mental hospital, and it would make perfect sense for every character. In the season 6 finale, there's a scene, and no spoilers here, where Nick and Schmidt are talking, and Nick says that he was eating some sausage or something and he wanted to throw it out, but he couldn't find the trash can, so he put it in the toilet, but he didn't flush, so he tells Schmidt that there's like a piece of sausage just swirling around somewhere in the toilet. And Schmidt just says, "What?" But that type of scene where it's just like a stupid random conversation, it's so funny, and it's obviously funnier in the show. It's so funny because it's Schmidt and Nick. The same scene would not work without the context of the show, and it would not work between any other characters on the show. All these little weird interactions is what makes this show so funny. So yeah, I guess this wasn't really a review. I usually don't like to review comedies because while an opinion on every show is subjective, with comedies, it's just, you know, it's just about did it make you laugh or not. So there's really no need to review, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I just felt that I wanted to share with you how I feel about this show. It's very funny, and I like it a lot, and I hope they do make another season. Let me know in the comments down below, first, what's your favorite sitcom and why? And second, have you watched New Girl? Do you like it? If you didn't like it, did you only watch the first season? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And if you're finding binge watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the binge watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging. And I will see you next time.